Shalom. Giving all praise to my Heavenly Father. His name is Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem God Kadash. No honor to the apostles and hearers here. Well, and peace and many salutations to you. I come this tool and this truth. Now I was listening to this podcast by two Edomites that are Christian nationalists. And you know, they're speaking about the situation that's going on in Springfield, Ohio. And of course, the line on the original Israelites, Levites, is saying that, they're eating cats and duck and the unruly and uncouth and voodoo worshippers and things of that nature. And, when you do research on the religion of Haiti, it's Roman Catholicism. Now it's mixed with, you have a mix of voodoo, but the vast majority of the so-called Haitians are Christian. You know what I'm saying? And of course, Haitians will have sense not to go into another country and just grab a random cat and try to eat it out in front of people. This is the propaganda that they want to push. And this is something that Esau Edom does. He's always done in the history of America. Esau Edom has always used black fear, so-called black fear, or Israelite fear, Judite fear, to push, a certain narrative. Even after the Civil War, you had, these various newspaper lie and say that, the so-called Negro was violent and, wanted to rape white women in, these various successful towns, so-called black towns, and they was used that narrative was used as a rationalization to ransack, numerous cities, successful so-called black cities, and, tear them down. Okay. And this same rhetoric is brewing once again. Okay. It's brewing once again in the sphere of Christianity, so-called Christianity, or plantation Christianity. Okay. And this is going to lead to what? To violence, man. Okay. So let me play this for you guys,
Just a second. Do it one more time.
What I'm saying, it is
Awesome. Here we go. So this is a woman speaking to her city council, I believe.
so unsafe in my neighborhood anymore. I have the homeless that were trying to camp out, and I have made concessions with them, and I try to help them the best I can to keep them from trying to squat on my property. But it is so unsafe. I have men that cannot speak English in my front yard screaming at me, throwing mattresses in my front yard, throwing trash in my front yard. And I can't. Look at me. I weigh 95 pounds. I couldn't.
When that white woman get the line, bro, and get to playing that victim. Hey, you better believe a problem's about to be started. Okay, this woman is clearly lying. What's going on in Springfield is the powers that be, that local government, right, or the government of Ohio allowed these various Haitians to come in to work. They're getting all these, on one hand, they're saying they're just homeless and they just run around eating cats and dogs, and, they're in the front lawn. But then you have stories of, hey, these people are getting payments to, be able to live in houses. They're getting, food stamps. They're getting thousands of dollars. But then you have this woman here saying, oh, now that's squatting on my front line. They're throwing mattresses. So it's a lie. The Haitians, the Levites, are being brought over here to work because you have a substantial amount of workers, of able-bodied men that don't want to work here in the U.S. A lot of men have clocked out. A lot of men are on drugs and things of that nature. And then you have people that refuse to work, these lower paying jobs too. That's a factor. So they need these people to work these jobs, so the production can continue. And they're bringing in these migrants, man. It's not coincidence that thousands of so-called Haitians, are now in the area of Ohio in a particular city all at once. Okay, they're being shipped over there to work, man. Okay, because you lazy ass Americans are either one on drugs, mentally disabled, are too lazy, or just don't want the job. Okay, but this woman here, she's clearly lying, bro. Clearly, and this rhetoric is going to is going to cause sedition among men. Okay.
Defend myself if I had to. My husband is elderly, and last night, after living in this home for 45 years, he said, Noelle, guess what? It's time to pack up and move. He said, we can't do this anymore. He said, it's killing both of us mentally. I don't understand what you expect of us as citizens. I mean, I understand they're here under temporary protected status, and you're protecting them, and I understand that our city services are overwhelmed and understaffed. But who's protecting us? If we're protecting them, who's protecting me? I want out of this town. I am sorry. Please give me a reason to stay. Thank you. I'm done.
Now that sounds like she's clearly just bigoted, racist. She's definitely the problem in this situation.
Well, she's white, so I knew all those things before I even had to hear anything.
Right, naturally. Yeah, and of course we're obviously being sarcastic here, listeners, but I mean, the reality is that she nailed it on the head when she said, I know that you're protecting them because, again, these immigrants are under protected status. But she said, but who's protecting us? And that's really the question that it boils down to. This woman understands the idea of the role that the civil magistrate is supposed to perform. The civil magistrate is supposed to look after the people that God has entrusted them with. They're not supposed to look to the foreigner. Aristotle talks.
See that? So Esau feels like they're being betrayed by their government, right? And so Esau is going to rise up. Now, if you've been paying attention, they just passed a law that made it basically militia groups illegal here in the U.S., right? And you better believe that guys like this that are Edomite Christian nationalists, they know of or are part of militia groups, okay? So things are going to get more dire out here, especially as resources begin to be harder to access or obtain. You dig?
How the tyrant prefers the foreigner over the citizen is a sign of a tyrant too. Why? Because the foreigner doesn't have any allegiance to the land of which that the tyrant is hoping to rule over. So they don't have to worry about a rebellion necessarily. They can just give them a very transactional relationship. And, and I'm of course not trying to imply that all these individuals that are migrating are bad. But at the end of the day, you can see that this woman is being a lot more patient than I would probably be. coming to her city and begging them, please, I don't want to leave. Give me a reason to stay. And I don't know what the result is ultimately going to be from her pleas, but it's absolutely heartbreaking to see.
Yeah. To touch on too, you mentioned the Christians that are typically very supportive. I saw one guy today. He said, I don't know who he was, but he had a PhD and was going to seminary. So you know that the take that's about to come out is going to be pretty bad. But he said the way we welcome the Haitian migrant is the way we welcome Christ. And it's a condition of, someone introduced me to this term, telescopic philanthropy. That is to say, philanthropy, which is doing good deeds. But what it does is it raises up a telescope and looks across the ocean, and it says, oh, good deeds and support and feeding the poor. I'm going to do that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this lens and I'm going to look out there, miles, across oceans, to do this good. And an image that kind of illustrates it, it's a woman doing that. And then right beside her, there are starving orphans. And Christians will do this silly thing, where they'll look out and they'll say, oh, the least of these, oh, the migrant, oh, the refugee. And hear me, some are really, I mean, you talk about like in Sudan.
So as you can see, these guys are like, nah, we need to help our own people before we help, these immigrants. Okay. And I'm pretty sure they want to say, other things, but this, is going to lead to something. It's something that we bring out, often, but it's going to lead to sedition among men. Okay. Look at this around the 14th chapter. The 14th verses say, this is 2 Ezra 15:14. Woe to the world and to them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. And when people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes. So we see more and more from the perspective of Esau, Edom. They feel abandoned. They feel as if the government is siding with foreigners versus the rightful citizens, the rightful white citizens of America, right? Which is going to galvanize them to use their blessing, which is the sword. Okay? Right? So that word sedition, when you look it up, it means rhetoric that entices basically rebellion. Okay? This is what we see going on. And of course, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans are going to be blamed. All right? I'm going to finish this and I'm going to get to another one. 2 Ezra 15:16. For there should be sedition among men and invading one another. They should not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their action shall stand in their power. You dig? So they're going to do what they deem as right. And it's all going to be based off of a lie. This is what Esau Edom does. He may have fabricated a story in his mind and he'll, basically move and operate off of that lie. He's done it there at the beginning of the Vietnam War, the Iraq War, Afghanistan War, all on the prince. All these wars was raised on the pretense of a story that was fabricated. All right. This is going to lead in this way, if you will. It's going to be seen in the latter days. It is not going to be fair. All right. It's not going to be fair. Okay. But it is what it is. We have to go through it to get to it. Now, this is Psalms 10, And 2, the wicked in his pride doth persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. All right, so these various ways we're praying that Yahweh by Shem Shai has it to where Esau is trapped in the various schemes that he's trying to wage on us, the true Israelites. For the wicked boasteth of his heart's desire, and blesseth the covetous, whom Yahweh abhorreth. The wicked through the pride of his countenance, when I seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts. His ways are always grievous. The judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, he puffeth at them. And I'm curious to see what that word puffeth mean, because it seems like, he's prideful or arrogant towards, but not quite sure. So I'm gonna look it up for you guys. The 10th. He puffeth at them. And that word is payath. Payath. I hope I'm saying that right. It says to breathe, blow, to cause to exalt or breathe, to blow, snort, to excite, inflame. So you use inflammatory words, to basically cast spells on people, right? To puff, paint for it, to breathe out, utter, to blow, blast. So he blows these various people down with his rhetoric. Okay. His ways are always grievous. The judgment are far above out of his sight. As for his enemies, he puffeth at them. He hath said in his heart, I am not to be moved, for I shall never see adversity. Right? Saying he believes that he'll never see adversity. Esau even believes that he could continue, um, um, in his wickedness. He could, and there's a push in Edomites, in a substantial amount of these Edomites to preserve America. It's not going to happen, right? His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity, right? That's what you see, deceit and fraud. His whole system is ran off of fraud. The American dollar is fraud, right? And he uses deceit as a way to demonize us, so he could push certain legislation, or he could galvanize the people to act a certain way, right? And extreme examples will be seen in Springfield, Ohio. Okay, we're praying that the Most High take this man's out. He sealed in the lurking places of the village, in his secret place doth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He doth catch the poor when he draweth him into the nets. He crouches and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strongholds. That's right. We see Esau Edom do that. That female was doing that, man. She was acting like she was so humble and things of that nature. But in all actuality, she was trying to get the Levites, the Haitians, so-called Haitians, that she's trying to get them, deported, right? That's at the seat in that mischief that the scriptures are speaking about. Okay? He hath said in his heart, God hath forgotten. He hideth his face. He will never see it. Arise, O Yahweh, O God, lift up thine hand, forget not the humble. Wherefore doth the wicked condemn the Most High? He hath said in his heart that thou wilt not require it. Yeah, so Esau believes that, the Most High doesn't see what he has done. But in fact, the Most High is long suffering. He's waiting for an exact time to issue our judgment on Esau, man. Okay, and it's going to happen. Though thou hast seen it, but thou beholdest mischief and spite, to requite it with thine hand. The poor commit himself unto thee. Thou art the helper of the fatherless. That's right. And he's going to help us, the true nation of Israel. Right. He's taking note of everything that we're going through. And he's going to help us. Okay. Break thou the arm of the wicked and the evil man. Seek out all his wickedness till thou find none. Okay. So the Most High is going to break the strength of this place and search out the heart of Esau Edom. He's doing that with us. Okay. Right. He's doing that with us. His messengers, if you will. We're telling him, Esau Edom, look, all these spirits that you're casting on the people is going to be of no avail. And the Most High is going to send his son back to rule. There's nothing you could do. Okay? Yahweh is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of the land. That's right. So these godless nations, start with Esau, Edom's going to perish. Okay? It's going to perish. We're going to be fine in that day. Because ultimately, the Most High is dealing with the nation of Israel. Right? In particular, at this particular time, the elect. And we know via prophecy that Esau Edom, his ways, are going to fall on himself. His tongue is going to fall on himself. Esau Edom is not as in control as what he wants to paint. Okay? Most High God is going to throw a monkey wrench in his operation. So pray this was edifying. I want to give all praise to my Heavenly Father, in the name of Yahweh, by Shem Shai, by Shem Karkadash, the one city pastor, and well. Peace, meaning salutation to you. I come to the truth. Shalom.